Hello friends. So today we will learn designing and working of a charge pump. Charge pump is a basic DC to DC voltage booster. It has very simple components, diodes and capacitors. To start with, we will first have a positive rail and a negative rail. Positive rail will be of 12 volts and negative rail will be 0 volt or ground. So now we will take one regular diode and connect its anode to the positive rail and cathode to the positive terminal of a capacitor. The negative terminal of the capacitor will be left open. Now another diode will be taken and its anode will be connected to the cathode of the first diode and its cathode will be connected to the positive terminal of another capacitor. This capacitor's negative terminal will be left open. Now another diode will be taken and its anode will be connected to the cathode of the second diode. The cathode of the third diode will be connected to the positive terminal of third capacitor. The negative terminal of the third capacitor will be connected to the 0 volt or ground volt rail of our circuit. So now we have 3 diodes and 3 capacitors. The output of the third capacitor will be our final output. The negative terminal of first capacitor will be supplied with S1 signal and the negative terminal of second diode will be supplied with S2 signal. Now if we draw the signals, so we will start with 0 on signal 1 and high on signal 2. So when S1 or signal 1 is low, signal 2 is high, and after some period of time we will invert the signals. So signal 1 will be high and signal 2 will be low, but these will be synchronous with each other with a 180-degree phase change. These signal can be provided with the Arduino very easily. And I will show you the Arduino code later in this video. So now when we will provide signal 1 low to our first capacitor, the current will flow from our positive rail through diode 1 and will charge the first capacitor to approximate the same voltage as of the positive rail, that is 12 volt. Now when the signal 1 goes to positive and signal 2 goes to negative, what will happen is that because now the capacitor 1 has a potential difference of approximately 12 volts, when we increase the voltage at the negative terminal through signal 1, making it high, let's say maybe 5 volt if we are using a 5 volt Arduino, then the capacitor will try to maintain a potential difference of 12 volt between its terminal. So it will increase the voltage at its positive terminal from 12 volt to 17 volts. So now this 17 volts will try to return towards a lower potential, but because of the blocking diode 1, this potential will be transferred to capacitor 2 and the capacitor 2 will be charged to 17 volts. Now when will we next cycle, when we will apply high signal to S2 and a low signal to S1, again this 17 volt potential difference at capacitor 2 will try to maintain this potential, but as we have increased the S1 to 5 volts, S2 to 5 volts, sorry, capacitor will increase its voltage from 17 volts to 22 or 23 volts, keeping the voltage difference between its positive and negative terminals as 17 volts. This 23 volt potential at its positive terminal will try to flow towards the negative lower potential. But because of the blocking diode 2, it will be forced to flow into the capacitor 3, which is our final capacitor. So, in theory, the capacitor 3 will be charged at a voltage of 23 volts with reference to the ground, while our positive rail is at 12 volts. Now, before we continue, every diode will have some amount of voltage drop known as forward voltage, and it is typically 0.6 to 0.7, and every capacitor has some leakage current or ESR or whatever you want to call it. So over time, the voltage gain which we have achieved of 23 volts will eventually go down, and that's why we need to continuously give positive high and low signals and at S1 and S2 to keep the voltage at of the capacitor 3 at desired level. Now a word about our sponsor of this video, PCBWay.com. They are one of the leading manufacturers of prototype and industrial grade PCB. They offer 10 prototype PCBs of 10 cm by 10 cm size for just $5 plus shipping. Presently, they are offering $5 coupon to all the new members, and thus first order is free and only shipping charges are to be paid. Ordering a PCB on PCBWay.com is extremely simple. Just head over to PCBWay.com, input your approximate PCB dimensions and quantity, and click on Quote Now. Then click on Gerber View or Quick Order. Upload your Gerber file. The exact dimensions and layers of your PCB will be automatically determined and will be added into the proper feeds. All you need to select now is board type to single or panel, quantity of PCBs you want, material of PCBs, thickness of PCB, and solder mask and solder screen color. The defaults are already selected for us. Then click on calculate and an estimate will be provided. Now you just need to select your country and preferred shipping method and click on add to cart and make the payment. Soon you will receive your fabricated PCBs at your doorstep. So now what to do if we want to have a higher potential than 23 volts at our output? We just need to increase the diodes and the capacitors, and we can achieve a higher voltage output at our final capacitor. And the best part is that we do not need to increase the number of signals we are giving. We just need to alternate signal 1 and signal 2 on our capacitors. So first capacitor will have signal 1, second capacitor will have signal 2, the third capacitor will again have signal 1, and fourth capacitor will have signal 2. The final capacitor will have its negative terminal connected to ground. So let's see a demo. So these are the positive and negative rails. These are the different diodes and the capacitors. The final diode is connected to the final capacitor, and the negative terminal of the capacitor is connected to ground. The first 4 capacitors are 4.7 microfarad 50 volt capacitors, and the final capacitor is 47 microfarad 50 volt capacitor. This is Arduino. this is V in pin of the Arduino, which we need to connect to the positive rail of our circuit. The white wire is the S1 connected to D12 and red wire is S2 connected to D13 pin. The black wire is connected to the ground, and so that we have a common ground. These wires connect the signal 1 and signal 2 to alternate capacitors in parallel. Now let's test the voltage. So our input voltage is 12.1415 volts, and I have recently tested it and checked it's working. So it is showing as 19 plus something, and it is gradually reducing to now it is 17 volts. So first let's decrease the potential to 0 volt of our final capacitor so that we can have a proper reading. So now we will connect the negative terminal of our input voltage to a negative rail and positive terminal to positive rail. As soon as you do that, we can see that the final capacitor is having a voltage of 10.23, and that is because all the 5 diodes are conducting, and because of some voltage drop, we are getting a lower voltage than the positive rail input side. Now when we connect the Arduino, the charge circuit will start working and S1 and S2 signal will start going on. And now as we can see, the voltage at the final capacitor has increased to 32 or 33 volts. So our input voltage is approximately 12 volts or 11.4 volts, but our output voltage is 33 volts. So now we have boosted our voltage from 11.4 to 33 volts. This is how the charge circuit pump works. This high voltage can be used to drive a N-channel MOSFET on high side very easily, and with Arduino we can do that. So now if we see at the Arduino code, the Arduino code is very simple. It has two parts, setup and the loop. In setup, we need to mention the pins and their mode. So pin 9, 12 and 13 all are set as the output. Pin 9 is MOSFET gate, which we can connect when we want to. Pin 12 is S1 or pump 1. Pin 13 is S2 or pump 2. So now when we come to our loop, here as we have seen that when S1 is high, S2 is low, and when S1 is low, S2 is high. So similarly we have coded the same. So when 12 or S1 is high, S2, that is pin number 13, is low, then we give a delay, and then we reverse the diagram or the circuit. So then S2 or pin S1 or pin 12 is low and pin 13 or S2 is high, then we again give a delay, and this codes run again and again and again in a loop. The delay can be increased or decreased as per our requirement of the voltage which we want at the output. If we are getting a very low output of the final voltage, then we can decrease the delay time, or if we are getting a very high voltage at the output, then we can increase the delay time. Usually a 10 millisecond or 100 millisecond is a good delay time to get our desired voltage. So I hope you have liked this video. Please do share, like and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you.